Hello, it's me Renata. I'm back again. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about me, my story, and I will also do this in short videos. When I was 40, it was a challenging time in my life, and I don't want to go into that right now. I wanted to write short stories, and I booked a short holiday for a week to the UK, to this little seaside village. And it doesn't really matter where that was, because I also want to guard the so here I have a problem. I'm Dutch and I can't think of pronouncing the word correctly. The anonymity, well, you know what I mean, of the guy I met and fell in love with, who was a functioning binge drinking alcoholic, which he told me fairly early on. And I thought, I'm so strong. I can handle that. Call me Florence Nightingale. I'm going to save this guy and get him off the booze. 12 years later, I realized that I couldn't, so we did split up. But it was an interesting roller coaster. And I couldn't quite believe, and certainly my environment couldn't quite believe, why I fell in love with someone with such a huge problem, which then became a huge problem for me because, to be honest, it's not easy to live with a person addicted to whatever substance, I imagine, but in my case it was alcohol. And I was so independent. I was 40, I had traveled the world, I'd lived in several countries, and here I was. He came to live with me fairly on in our relationship. Because first I went, after the week, I went back to the Netherlands because I'm Dutch, if you didn't know that yet. And then after a week, I went back to the Netherlands, and then I went back for another month to stay with him. Came back to the Netherlands, and about half a year later, he joined me in the Netherlands, and we stayed together for 12 years. But anyway, people couldn't understand. They said, "You're such an independent woman. How do you allow him to treat you like that?" Because, to be fair, I wasn't treated fantastically when he was drinking, and that's an understatement. It was verbal abuse mostly. Very clever, because he was a clever man. He was very funny, he was highly intelligent, very clever, and he knew how to get me in the right places. So this kind of took me 12 years to get to even, and I didn't even completely break the situation myself. It was through a circumstance, which I will talk about in another video. But it was quite amazing already in the first months how difficult it was to live with this soul who actually was a very hurt soul. I felt I remember seeing him crying when he thought I wasn't watching him, and it went through my bones. It was so hard to see that. It was really difficult, but it was impossible for me to help him. It really wasn't. And oh God, I did try, and I said, "Oh, why don't you stop, and how can you do that? Can't you just take a few drinks?" And well, if you're in that situation, you might as well not do that. Actually, you shouldn't do that, because you just create a more difficult situation. And for me, it was, it was really, really weird to find myself living with someone with such a huge problem. That created a huge problem for me, and I still, for a very long time, wanted to help him and lived with the hope that he would give up and stay sober for the rest of his life, and that we could live happily ever after. Well, we didn't, but I still believe that in some cases, some couples do stay together and it does work, but for me it didn't. But I have a very strong passion for the subject. I still, years later, because I have moved on, still have a strong passion to talk about this subject, to create awareness, because I was so frustrated that there wasn't awareness, that people didn't understand what it actually meant, how, you know, and it affects so many people. So I'm on a mission I'm going to create awareness through these videos, and I'd like you to be part of this. And I'd love for you to let me know if you are, well, interested, first of all, in following me. You can do that by following me on Facebook or YouTube. And yeah, if you like, share me some of your story. And I'm not sure where this will lead, if I get lots and lots of messages, but going to do my utmost best to answer wherever I can. And this is it for today, and I'm saying goodbye for now. Bye bye.